Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Level M Diecast, bringing you our very first batch review of 2023. Yes, it is a little bit late. I do apologize. It's been a little bit weird trying to get everything in order. Matchbox did change the case assortments and how they're doing things right at the end of the year last year, moving into this year. So there are going to be carryovers to every batch moving forward. So the batches are going to be much, much smaller, because there will be more than likely much more cases. Kicking it off with this one, this is the Toyota 4Runner. It's a brand spanking new casting. This is actually a 2022 model, carried over into the 2023 A case. This one just a little bit on the end, but it's still come out with a 2022 model. You'll notice there is no number at the bottom. However, there is a little bit of confusion towards the end of 2022. One new thing you'll notice here on the cards is this 70th logo right there. It is, of course, Matchbox's 70th anniversary, 1953 to 2023. Yes, they did predate Hot Wheels by about 10 years. So, unfortunately, Hot Wheels is much, much bigger than they are, but we're going to get to that guy. Next one up, which is also a question mark for a couple reasons. For one, this is supposed to be a 2022 model, although this is numbered at the bottom 38 of 100. That is the number it is slated for 2022. However, whether this is a 2022 model or a 2023 model is a little bit up for debate. But I am going to call it a 2022 model. That is where I am going to stand. This is the Rivian R1T. Brand spanking new casting. This thing is commanding quite a bit on the secondary market. It's a pretty good casting, so can't wait to get that one cracked open. Pretty excited about that one. Moving on to our for sure 2023 models. This is the first one we're going to take a look at. This is the Ford Bronco, 2021 Ford Bronco. This one is National Parks. This one looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy to have this one donning the National Parks logo. I think that was a perfect choice. This is number 25 of 100. So kicking it off with a blast, no doubt about that. One that's not so much a blast. This is the Nissan NV van. Very interesting deco on this. It is the Harbor Ferry Transport deco. Very interesting because there is an Action Drivers ferry harbor port playset coming out. So a little bit of a tie-in from the mainline stuff into playsets. This one is number 71 of 100. So pretty average. That one does not have an interior, by the way. Brand spanking new casting. This is the Koenigsegg Gamera. Yes, this is the same Gamera that Hot Wheels made. They are completely two different castings, though. Completely night and day between the two of them. Honestly, this one's probably going to be much, much better. A little bit more bigger and appropriate size. Number 45 of 100. Not a new casting, but a new deco, obviously. This is the C8 Corvette in white. This is number 31 of 100. This one looks pretty good. It does have a little bit of a sacrifice as far as tempo goes. We'll get over that when we crack it open. Very, very, very exciting one. This one is a very popular model right now. This is number 56 of 100. This is just the standard express delivery. It is a generic casting, although it is, based on an actual, I believe, Freightliner, delivery van, I guess you can call it. This has been through a couple of iterations over its life. Started as a metal cab and a plastic base. Then it moved to plastic body and metal base. And then now it's still plastic, although there used to be an opening door in the back. There's no longer an opening door. This one donning a licensed deco with FedEx on it. Has some additional tampo as well. So when we get this one cracked open, it is going to be pretty nice. And of course, you can see just what that extra tampo is right there on the top. So very, very exciting on that one. Another unlicensed model in this mix, kind of hitting in the time of, supposedly hitting the time of Christmas, is this Road Roller in, green and red. Looks very Christmassy. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but definitely does not look like a construction vehicle. This was a brand new casting last year, so this is just the second time we're seeing this casting. And it's a very, very weird color combination. So I guess when we get to that, we'll see if it's truly worth it. This one is pretty nice. Definitely happy to see the Nissan hardbody back in the mix. This one looks pretty good. This is number 72 of 100. This one is especially nice because of the next model, which is a fantastic thing. I think that Matchbox is getting some good ideas going. That is the motorcycle trailer. They call it the MBX Cycle Trailer, number 63 of 100. Of course, it does come in 2 iterations. You do have a crotch rocket right there, and then of course we do have our kind of a cafe racer a little bit, kind of a cruiser a little bit. Not so much a crotch rocket or anything like that, but a very interesting switch between the two. And of course, the deco on the top of this trailer perfectly matches the Nissan hardbody. So we will throw those together and take a look at those when we crack. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a super chase in this case. And that is the 1932 Ford 3-window coupe. Model B. Looks fantastic. This one is definitely a bit of a difficult one to get. I personally had to trade for this one. I did not pull it off the pegs, although everything else we saw I did pull from the pegs. So yes, we're going to crack this guy open and check him out as well. So let's bring out our rotator and get an up-close look at Batch A. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick this off with our brand new Toyota 4Runner from Matchbox. We do know that Hot Wheels made one of their own. This one in maroon, this casting is significantly smaller than the Hot Wheels one. As a matter of fact, you could probably fit this inside the outer shell of the Hot Wheels 4Runner. So if you do have a Hot Wheels 4Runner, give you an idea of the scale. Very interesting about this casting too, just because, it's bone stock. I mean, even Hot Wheels, it's a little bit hopped up. It's got a little bit of 4-wheel drive to it. Even the Hot Wheels one has the rear window down a little bit. But true to Matchbox form, they made just a factory stock 4Runner. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It is a very, very good casting. I do like that it has a sunroof on the top, full front tampo, full rear tampo. It's a really good casting, I think it looks good with the 6-spoke utilities on there. It's a pretty nice casting. We already know it is coming in that electric blue with some black wheels for its second color, which will be very, very exciting. Taking a look at the prints that are on the front there. Looks pretty good. It's a pretty decent casting. Details on the back does say 4Runner. A little bit of those 3-dimensional taillights, just like the real one. Unfortunately, there is an ugly post that runs through the bottom, which is too bad. There is the base deets. These were made R30, so they were made at the end of last year. MB 1302 is your man number, which is pretty nice. All right, that Rivian R1T. I love the Rivian. I think the Rivian's a fantastic vehicle. I think it's an awesome truck. Not a huge fan of electric vehicles, as you guys probably already have gathered. I drive a very powerful Charger, we'll put it that way, that likes to drink a lot of gas. But, if I had a lot of money, I would love to have an R1T. I think these are fantastic trucks. I like the design. I think they're just super, super awesome, super quirky. They got a lot of good features to it. Matchbox has captured this one perfectly. Very interesting design on this one because it's actually got a plastic part on the roof, which that part actually continues down into the bed. Very interesting design. I know that the real R1T has a large glass roof on the top of it. So, Matchbox is just trying to, bring it to life and mimic the real one. I will tell you, this casting again is pretty small. The R1T is not a huge truck, but this casting's really, really small. When we get to the end, I'll do a couple of comparisons just to show you how small this Rivian truly is. Taking a look at the side, does look pretty good. It does have Rivian on the side, which is pretty nice. Good tampos on the front. Very good representation of those Dyson ovals, as people try to call them. Rivian on the back with that light bar looks pretty good. Flip this around. See our deets on the base. There it is, Rivian R1T. Man number is 1282. Copyright 2021 Mattel. That is pretty nice. I will tell you there is an interior, so do not worry. It does have an interior. All right, moving on to 2023. We're just going to go ahead and start with our Nissan NV van, which of course does not have an interior. This particular one has a frosted black window piece. Typically, you know, the ones in the past have been somewhat clear. They're still frosted, but they've been somewhat clear. This one's just black with just that texture on it. I think that's perfectly fine. It doesn't need an interior. It's not that big a deal. It does come with a tow hitch, which is kind of cool, kind of universal on that. Again, this casting's pretty small. Not a good representation of the real model. But, of course, we got to fit it in the blister. I do think the deco on the side looks pretty good. Not sure if that's licensed yet, but we'll pull it up and take a good close look at it and check it out. You'll see that the front turn signal and the rear tail lights, they do try to get on the side pass. So it looks good on the side, but not when you look at it from the back. So there is your Harbor Ferry Transport. And, of course, it does say Matchbox on the logo. So, of course, this is a generic livery, although this will match perfectly fine with the ferry set that's coming out for action drivers. So pretty excited about that. Of course, this was an existing casting, so these are just the exact deets. We have already seen that casting previously. All right, we got a generic here. Just going to mix things up. This is the road roller. This was a brand new casting last year. Really wasn't a casting that was needed. We had a very good road roller. The problem is I think they wanted to make a new one so that they could get rid of the turning aspect of it, which they had already done. So I'm not really sure why they had to make a new one, but my assumption is going to be the cab was plastic on that one, and maybe they just wanted to redo it because they needed to make that a non-removable piece just for, you know, choking hazards or something like that. I think it would have been better just to retool the existing one than make a new one, because this one's not all that great, but it does have a lot more metal in it than the original road roller had, or the previous one, I should say. This one, very interesting color combination. Of course, it does say Streetworks on the side, diesel roller. That is the Lion Brothers logo. Matchbox has used that before. Never in this color combination. So that's a very, very interesting mix. It says Lower East Smithfield, London. So Matchbox City. A little bit of an ode, a little bit of throwback to some Lesney stuff, I think, which is kind of interesting for a non-desirable generic model. Of course, there is the deets there. 1289 is your man number on that generic. All right, moving on to the last generic in the mix, and this is a fantastic one. There will be an Action Drivers playset coming out as well. So if you have missed this model or you can't find it yet and you do happen to find the playset, this model will also be in the playset. Highly doubt there'll be any differences between the two of it, but we are definitely going to pick that playset up if we find it. This one is awesome. I absolutely love it. I've been waiting forever for Matchbox to put a licensed deco on the side of this delivery van, and FedEx is a perfect choice. Very, very nice. It looks really, really, really good. I think it matches perfectly with where the brand's going. I think it brings some awesome life to this model, which is an otherwise drab casting, to be honest with you. But this one's perfect. This one's absolutely perfect, and it's got tons of deco on it. Deco on the front, deco on the sides. It's just missing a little bit of rear deco, unfortunately, but very, very good details. You see it does say FedEx.com on the side, even has the US dot number on it. MB813, you'll see that at the top of the window. That is the man number, the actual man number for the casting. There is a number 15 right there on the side. I'm not sure the significance of that. Can't really see too much of what that is, but if you know what that is, please drop a comment. Let us know. Looks fantastic. Side markers done up as well. Really, really good. There we go on the base. There it is, MB813. Of course, he's your man number. All metal base, but there's really not that much metal to this casting, but this guy is absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really good. Really primo. All right, moving to something that is not commercial vehicle at all. This is the 2020 Corvette, aka the C8 Vet. in a pearl white. That's not a standard white, that's a pearl white, and you can already see there are no rear tampos on this guy, unfortunately, because he does get those side inlets decoed up just a little bit. And of course he does have front deco, which could or could not be part of that hood deco. If that's all one pass or not, I'm not sure. But either way, it did sacrifice and did not get any rear tech deco print, which is unfortunate. Looks pretty bland in the back. But the pearl white's nice. Does have those black 5 spokes on there. It's a pretty good one. It's pretty nice because now we can have a red, white, and blue C8 Corvette, which we always like that here at Level M. That's a pretty cool feature. There is the deets on this one. MB1221 is the man number. Again, not a new casting. Been around the block a bunch of times. All right, brand spanking new casting. This is the last brand spanking new casting in the mix. This is the Corvette Gamera. This is a 4-door hypercar, or I'm sorry, 4-seater hypercar. It's actually only 2 doors, but it is a 4-seater. If you've seen the real one, pictures of it or whatever, it's a wicked car. It's a hybrid. It uses a 3-cylinder engine plus electric motors. It has like over 1,000 horsepower. It's insane. It's insane. Not sold on why Matchbox made this. My only assumption is that since it's a hybrid and Mattel's been, pushing really hard for electric vehicles, that's kind of why they went the route with this one. Kind of a mixture of hybrid, but still, get that sports car flavor in there. I think the casting looks great. I think the casting's much better than Hot Wheels. It's definitely a lot bigger than Hot Wheels. I think the details, kind of come out a lot better for the Matchbox one. I'm not sold on the wheels or the wheel color or the interior color with the outside color, but the gunmetal gray looks pretty good. Of course, with all Koenseis, you do have the ghost on the back, and of course they do have that on here. So it does have the rear kind of around the hood opener section painted up. Taillights decoed up, which looks pretty good. A little bit of print down there that says Koensei. Very, very fine print. Of course, the front is all printed up as well with the shield on there. Looks pretty good. There is your base deets, a very plain base. MB1362 is the man number on that one. So it's a pretty good casting. Definitely better than the Hot Wheels one. So if you pick up one of those, you should definitely compare it. All right, one of the most iconic decos that Matchbox does is the national parks. And they picked a doozy to start 2023 with this 2021 Ford Bronco. This is the 4-door. Of course, Matchbox does make the 2-door as well, but that is a moving parts model. This one is very, very nice. Very, very nice. Full front tampo, and then, of course, it's got side tampos on both sides. Doesn't have any rear print, but that's okay. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. I think that this model is going to have front print 100% of the time to get all those details in the front end, but it can live without the taillights. It can live without the Bronco logo in the back. But just this mint green just looks absolutely fantastic. It's such a good, clean deco. I mean, I don't know of anything they could probably put this deco on that would not look good. It's just a very nice designed, clean deco, and I'm glad it's just continuing for hopefully eternity, to be honest with you. So there is your Bronco logo on the side. Does say 23 on there for 2023. It says US 402 on the back. National Park Eco Management is who this guy is for. Division number 2. And then, of course, there is the prints on the front. Like I said, I think this is going to have those prints on the front for eternity. Flip this guy around to the base. R35. This one was made significantly later than the rest of the models, but that looks pretty good. Matchbox 1247 is the man number. All right. We're going to bring in our hard body because we got to do the hard body first. This is the D21 hard body, 1995. This casting's been out for a few years now. We do have about 6 or 7 versions. This is one of the cooler ones. Just a cycle runner on the side. Does have that old school Nissan flair to it. Of course, red, white, and blue looks good. Does have a little bit of print for the taillights on the side pass, but not all that great. Of course, it does have a nice red painted hood. There is a little paint logo in there for the Nissan logo, which is always good. So that looks pretty fancy. It does have black base, black interior. This is a pretty good casting. This is a really good casting. Of course, it does have a tow hitch, which he's going to be towing. And what he's going to be towing is we'll show next. There is the base Dietz. MB1206 is the number. So we'll pull him off. So we'll kind of do these as a tag team. This is the MBX cycle trailer. Of course, every time that this cycle is released, there has been two versions. One of the, kind of chopper with the sissy bar on the back, and then of course kind of the cafe racer, kind of the chill, kind of, not so out there crotch rocket. I think it's a cool combination for the two. And of course, Matchbox doing what they do, some different. Most would expect to put a crotch rocket on there, you know what I'm saying? But this one looks pretty good. Casting is really good. All the white you see is metal, so the majority of this trailer is metal. And then they just swap out that quote-unquote interior piece, which is, of course, where the motorcycle is. Take a look at the base real quick. There is the base Dietz. It says MBX cycle trailer. That man number is 1215. And then, of course, there is some deco on the back, which looks pretty good. Just a cycle runner on the plate. Let's get this guy off to focus on there. So cycle runner on the plate looks pretty good. And, of course, why does it say cycle runner? Well, because it matches your hard body, and it matches it perfect. Deco and all. It's like they were meant to be together. I think this is an awesome, awesome feature. This is just something that I really wouldn't expect this kind of planning to go into a batch, to actually have multiple models go together in the batch. It's a fantastic idea, and it really can help sales. Whether that translates to reality, I don't know. But I think this is awesome. I think this is a great idea. The fact that they match together, and it's perfect. I mean, you tow this with the hard body, and both axles in the back move perfectly fine. I mean, this is just perfect companion. It just looks good. It just looks good. And even the trailer is relatively scaled to the truck. It's really, really good. It's really good. I really like that one. All right. We're going to end on the note. We're going to pull out our Super. And yes, like always, we try to do this. We like to pull and crack the Super in real time. So we're going to go ahead and crack our 32 Ford B, Model B, and throw him right down there. Of course, he is in awesome metallic gold. Totally Matchbox for sure. Real Riders does have some nice steelies with some orange lining on there that looks really, really good. It's a really, really, really nice Super, in my opinion. Does have black base. Does have some print on the top. A couple of side tampo slides. And then there is a plate on there. And, of course, the plate is going to say SC4, which means Super Chase 4. This one is pretty good. This one is pretty good. So I'm glad that the Super Chases continue. I'm not sure what else we're going to see in subsequent batches as the year moves on, but this one is very, very good itself. There is your Super Chase 4 plate on the back, a little bit of silver print for the handle. Of course, the back window is not printed up. Tampo prints on the side does say Super Fast SC on there as well. 70th logo. It says Matchbox on the hood. Kind of an old school font. That looks pretty cool. So this is a very, very nice casting. Looks very, very good. Just a simple print on the grill area. And then there is your nice black base. R36. So this is the latest made of the whole bunch. So we're going to throw that guy down. Tribute to the American flag in the back. And we're going to roll out with that. So I'm glad you guys appreciate that. Let me know what you think about 2023 Mix A. The A case, Mix 1. This is going to be one of the bigger batches, I think. I think subsequent batches will be smaller, but it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. We're starting off to a pretty good year, so we're going to catch you later. Appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you very much. Level M Diecast. Peace.